everyone, welcome back to another episode of Coffee Corner. Today is your episode 62. As promised, we're gonna do an episode about my pro life in another country. Hopefully you don't mind this style because I want to include Bob. I don't want to other him. But the problem is if I move, he'll move and he won't stay with me. So that's why I'm just using my phone with the microphone. Hopefully the audio will turn out good. Anyway, so first of all, I want to say that it is my very own personal experience. I cannot represent everyone, so you might have different stories too. So let me know. Anyway, I don't want to turn it to be a saga, and I hope to keep it short as well. Um, I think I mentioned this before. When I first came to Canada, I definitely didn't have money. I was living with the homestay, and that was 700 or 750. That was 700 a month, and then it went up to 750, and that was most of my expenses here. No, yeah, that was the biggest expenses I have in my life back then. I had that. So every month, of course, it was like you were worried about your rent all the time. So that's me. Back then, we had Target and the Sears, and those are the American stores. So then they kind of, uh, you know, decide to leave Canada. And I really, really love Target. I think Target is my favorite uh, grocery store. No, grocery store. What's that? Supermarket. What is that? Drugstore? Anyway, so you know what I mean. I still remember when I went to Target and I saw toothpaste. It was $2.99 or $3.99. I thought that was super expensive because I had to convert it to uh, RMB, and then of course it was like over 10 RMB or something, and I was like, that was really expensive. And I needed shampoo, and then they had one called herbal something. I forgot. It was only $1.99. It was really terrible, and my hair was dry as you know what I mean. It was really really crappy. But okay, so that is not my point. I'm not trying to say that how difficult the life I had before. I was trying to say that if you ever thought about coming to or going to another country to either study or to work, and you don't have much money, and what is the first thing you have to really think about? I got this question a few years ago before I even had a channel or something. It was on Zhihu. Someone actually DM'd me saying that, oh, I don't have money, but I want to go to another country to study. What is your advice or tips or something like that? I asked her, do you have a strong mind? So that was my question. I think the difficult part is, of course, not having money is very difficult. But the difficult part is you are the only one who doesn't have money. So that is why I'm asking them. I was asking her if she had a strong mind. Think about if you're living with a roommate and your roommate is rich and she can buy whatever she wants, and then you're worried about your rent, you're worried about your daily expenses and other things. You can't even afford a toothpaste. Um, how would you think about that, right? So that was very tough. I would consider myself very strong-minded. A lot of times, I would just focus on my goal. So this is what I want. I will work my ass off to achieve that goal. Other than that, I don't care. So that was more like my personality back then. Money. I'm not that kind of person that would be jealous of people with money or like a rich people or something. I think money is something if you work, you can make it. Like that is, yeah, that is something you can get it as long as you work. Uh, but it was the resources. It was the resources that you would think even like you may have money or you may have something, but you just don't have uh, um, you don't have equal resources there. And so I hate holidays when I came to Canada because during holidays my friends or classmates they would go somewhere else for fun. So they went on trips and they will of course asked me, invited me. Then I had to say no. I felt really bad. And that is another hard time for people who don't really have much money. is the socializing. You will find that very, very difficult, especially during holidays, vacations. They will go on somewhere else, and then you will have to stay at home doing, I don't know, you might have to work or something like that. And then that's when I start to close my WeChat, not WeChat, the 朋友圈 on WeChat, because I didn't want to see what was going on. Like, although they had a really wonderful life, they were posting pictures about food, about sceneries, and then whatever fun experience they had. I just felt really bad about, and not myself, but I just felt bad in general that I wasn't able to go there. And again, socializing is part of socializing costs money. Okay, so you want to maintain a relationship, not like you're going to buy something for your friends, but more like you have to go with them. You have to be part of the group. And if they go somewhere for lunch, for dinner, and then can you afford that? Plus, here you will pay tax and tips, things like that. And you can't, then you won't go with them. And then, next time when they go have fun, they won't ask you again. And then gradually you just lose them, right? That is my thing back then. Very difficult if you really think about going to another country, and that is really something you have to uh, think hard, because sometimes you may get twisted, like your mental health or anything, like how your mentality, how you think about things, how you deal with people really can get twisted, because you just couldn't do it. I and so money part was fine, and then resources is like, I think I was working really hard, and I told you in the last episode I was working really hard, but I didn't get it because, of course, I didn't have a powerful parent. I didn't have useful resources for people who are in charge. And then that's when I realized that, oh, I started to become a little bit selfish. I used to be a very generous helper. If people came to me, I would always put like 120% of my effort to help the people, help the people in need. That's what I always did. And then I realized for a while I didn't want to do it, because I feel like I really worked so hard to get what I needed. And then you look at other people, they just like, yeah, sure, I do it and I get it. And then when they come to ask for help, and so in my mind, I was really thinking, why should I help them? I got a lot of things in a very hard way. So that was all really purely by myself. And why do I want to share those things that I earned? So in a very, very challenging or hard way, and share those kind of things with those people who don't really work hard or who don't put out much effort. And I just don't feel fair, right? When I thought about those. And that's when I started to become selfish. And even my parents realized that when I talked to my mom, and she was like, oh, you were not like this before. It was very hard to explain how I changed it to that kind of person. I am trying. So now I would love to share. Well, otherwise, I wouldn't have this channel here. I'm still that kind of person. If I can, I will help you, but then I will have to think about at to what degree or to what extent I can help you for how much, right? So not how much, like money much, but I think sometimes when you really put your whole heart with your sincerity to help someone, and they don't really appreciate that, and then they just thought you were supposed to do that for them, and they just take it for granted. And now you make it a little bit more difficult for them to get your help, and then they will realize, oh, okay, so you actually have to take your time, and you have to put effort to help them, and then they will kind of appreciate your help, right? So that's how I dealt with that. um so back then, I think the most difficult time I had here was 2014. I think it's 2014. And yeah, 2014 was the most difficult year for me, because I did not have any school. I finished my ESL, I finished the TESOL courses, and then I didn't get any offer from my university. And so I applied for college to do human resources management, which had nothing to do with the teaching. I liked it though. So between that, during that time, I didn't have school. And of course, for me, I felt like every breath costs money. Seriously, like you go outside, you have to take a bus, and that costs money. And you you have to eat, you have to drink, you just even use your phone, and like you have to pay for it. Um, then I start to work at a Chinese restaurant. I feel like that's always the journey for Chinese students. The reason I worked a year there because I didn't really have legal document, right? So if you are enrolled in a public higher education uh, institution, so college or university, you will be granted for like you can work. You're allowed to work up to 20 hours a week. I didn't have that, so of course I was working illegally, and the only place would take that was a restaurant. So I went there. Um, I was like the boss, the owner was always gaslighting you, like all the time. She would yell at you, she push you. Uh, I really had a hard time. I think the saddest moment when I worked there was a one night. I was the last one. I had to get everything ready for the second day and close everything, clean everything, and then I was waiting for the bus. It was probably already 10:30, almost close to 11. I chopped garlic the whole day, and of course I smelled garlicky. And then I got on a bus. I could smell myself. It was pretty stinky. I could smell myself, and then I saw a girl, a blonde with a very, very nice jacket and very stylish. She was so beautiful, and she smelled good. Uh, That moment really destroyed me. I still can't, excuse me. I still can remember that moment at night. Not many people on the bus, and then you have someone who looked very sophisticated, and then you have someone like me who smelled like garlic. So that was very hard for me. But I always know that that was temporary. All I needed was just to make through that period, and then got into school. Then I can switch to a different job. I didn't like that job. Of course, nobody would like it, but I really appreciate that experience. I was mostly working in the kitchen, washing dishes. I actually got muscles. Like I didn't realize that until I went to a Christmas party. I was wearing an off shoulder. Off shoulder? What's that? No, different. I forgot what kind of dress. I will find that dress, and then you can see that. I saw my muscles. I'm like, oh my god! So maybe you can get free workout there. I hated that. In my dream, I was still washing dishes all the time. Um, and then I got into college, started my school, and then I went there, of course, quit. And then she was so funny. She said, are you quitting because of me, or you're quitting because you gotta go? And I was like, of course, I'm not saying that I'm quitting because of you, but I'm quitting because of you. So that was the end of the working restaurant journey. Yeah, I really, really appreciate that one. I think that made me realize what I really wanted. And then I started to do uh, jobs more related to what I wanted, which was teaching. I started some tutoring jobs, and then I was working at that private language school where I studied, and but I was doing volunteer jobs, so I didn't get paid for that. So my income back then was mainly from tutoring. During the college, of course, it was very intensive. I barely had the time, but I made sure I always went back to visit that school. So they once they had opportunities, I could get something from there. Um, I did probably like 2 3 years of free work at that school, shredding paper, taking care of a kid, and then something else, and doing summer program. And this is why I hate kids. Not I hate kids. I hate teaching kids because back then in summer there were some students were there with their kids, and no one was taking care of the kids. So they said, "Oh, babe, do you mind doing that for us?" I mean, so for me, I have no right to say no uh, because of my own situation, right? So when you don't have anything, you will say yes to everything. So I did almost all the hard work, and I did the work that nobody wanted. Um, yeah, and again, I appreciate that one. I think my hard work paid off in the end, and when I graduated, they actually offered me a paid job. So they said, "Do you want to stay?" Well, not really well, but that was my first job there. Mm, yeah, very interesting experience, and I was very very happy that I got offer from college first. That's where I met my best friend Alicia, and then of course we did a collaboration before. I met Alicia, I met Samia, and they are my best friends, and I felt so lucky. That's the part I felt lucky about my life here is about people. All the people I met here, they're wonderful, they're kind, and they're fun, and then they help me get through my difficult life too. So I really appreciate that. Um, yeah. And another thing I just remember. So sorry, I have no logic for this one. If you care about being logical or something, I guess you might want to leave. Anyway, so back to my poor life when I didn't have money out. I was doing homestay, but my phone was not working. Back then, I had a phone called HTC, I think so, and somehow all of a sudden it wouldn't turn on. So I had to buy a new one, but I didn't have money. So my solution was, of course, if so, this is why I like Taobao, and you can find everything. But anyway, my first online shopping was for Amazon, and I found a BlackBerry. It was a $300 68, no, $368. I still remember that. That was the cheapest phone I could find on the internet, and I went for it. But again, I didn't check carefully. I didn't know how long would that take to get the phone. It took 2.5 months. Yeah, it took me 2.5 months, and I almost gave up. It was so long. So for 2.5 months, I did not have anything but my computer. Um, so yeah, it was tough. I still remember when my parents said you gotta have a phone because that's how we communicate, and that's blah blah. Anyway, I was like, yeah, I know, but I don't want to spend like a $600, $700 on a brand new phone. So I was waiting for that. Very interesting experience. A lot of things I still remember. A lot of things I get emotional about something, but and then sometimes I feel like those kind of experiences are quite funny. That with the phone thing. Um, when I in 2015 I got an offer from my master program with a scholarship, which is funny. That's why you never gave up, because they refused. They said no to me 2 3 times, and then now they gave me an offer with a scholarship. When I got the money, I was like, holy cow, I'm so rich. What am I gonna do with this money? I bought myself a camera. That's the Sony Alpha 6000. I'm still using it. It's been years. I really loved it. I love uh, photography. Yes, I love photography. I love taking pictures, and I always wanted a camera, and that was the one. That is 799 or 800 something. Super expensive. The most expensive other than tuition. The most expensive thing I've ever bought in my life. I loved it. I'm still using it. And again, if you are thinking about using camera to take videos, then that is not the one I would recommend. Plus, it's discontinued. So anyway, that was my gift for myself when I got money, and that I think that's when my life started to getting better. So and I started to have more tutoring students, and then I started to volunteer a lot. So I volunteered at the private language school. I volunteered at a school board where I'm working right now, and also volunteered at a college where I had my HR program. There they had like a conversation circle or something. I was a facilitator, and I also volunteered at a TESOL London association, something like that. Anyway, so as much as I could, and because I didn't have money, so I did not have data on my phone. For very long time, I did not have data on my phone. So once I leave my house, then I will not have internet. So that was difficult. And I am very, very, very terrible at directions. So that was so hard. And then I went to the school board to volunteer. but I didn't know where to go. So I always pre-checked the Google Map and everything, trying to figure out things. But with the buses in London, here, I'm in London if you want, not the UK one. Buses in this small city, it was chaos. It was always very hard to know where they go and where you actually get up. And it's not like you have a stop on this side and you will have another stop on the other side. No, it's different. They don't go. They don't go and come back in the same way. I totally got lost there, and because I didn't have a map, I think it took me an hour and a half to get to where I was. And I was so scared because I went through the woods and I went through a really crappy neighborhood to get to school. So I was really scared. And for like, I got lost for a week, constantly. I like something wrong with me. I'm very bad at directions anyway. So, and that is one thing, I did not have data. And once I had a little bit extra money, I changed the plan to, I still remember that was with Fido, $35 with a 30 megabytes. It was like, you just use it and then it's gone, right? I still can't remember I used a 30 megabytes every month. It was difficult. And another expensive thing was bus tickets. So for me, because I took bus every day back then, and then I had to get like a month pass will be better. I would say that, but then it's $81 a month. So for me, two most ridiculously expensive things are bus tickets and phone plans. I just did not understand, because those kind of things are quite cheap in our country, right? But I just could not stand it. $81 every month for a bus. And I started to think about what is a better way to save money on transportation. But because I had to commute a lot among different schools, and they were like totally in different directions. So that part I couldn't do anything. So then I saved money on phone, means I did not have data for many years. For about 3-4 years, I did not have data here. I didn't know how I survived, but I guess I managed it. One thing I wanted to say, that the most difficult time was, I mentioned it was 2014. I think I did not get any offers from school, and did not, like, I basically did not really have ideal job. But so I forgot, someone asked me about this. Look, I feel lost. I did not have anything. I don't know what to do. It's okay if you don't know what to do, but it is not okay for you to stop. That is the difference. When you are trying to figure out to which way to go, or when you're trying to figure out your future, you're not wasting your time. You're still doing something, right? I think the most right decisions, is that how I say that? The most right decisions were, I did not stop pursuing education. I finished a language school and I didn't know what to do because I didn't have offer. Then I started my TESOL course, and then that was 1 month full time, and I finished that, and then I had no school to do. I started to do a business course. That was another 1 month, and that one really helped me with my speaking, because I had to do a lot of presentations. And I posted that video before, so you saw me doing the presentation. It was pretty bad. After that, that was March, I think. That was March, or that was January. I forgot. So again, I did not have anything to do, and I did not have school to do. So I registered another TESOL course, which is like a level 2 or something diploma. That was six months part time. And then so I was doing the course in the afternoon. Of course, worked in the morning. So by the time I was doing my master, I already had TESOL certificates and TESOL diploma, which really helped me a lot, because after I graduated, so right away, any kind of teaching jobs, I could definitely do it, because I had certificates already. Then after I graduated from school, I had degree, I had experience from a volunteer. That's why volunteer is very important. If you're looking for Canadian experience, volunteer, okay? And then I had certification. So degree, volunteer experience, and a certification. And right away, they offered me a job. So I was able to grab it. And then, of course, after that, better opportunities came up. And then I was able to just go with it. And then, yeah, this is where I am now. Again, if you are really thinking, or you just thought about that, not everyone is rich in another country. We all have different kind of life, and at some point, it is very challenging for almost everyone. Sometimes it's physically challenging, sometimes it's mentally challenging. Of course, for poor students like me, it will be in both way very challenging, because you have to take care of yourself, and then you have to deal with a lot of difficulties as well, especially when it comes to relationship. You really don't have extra money to socialize, and then that will put you in an awkward situation because people might think you are not active or you don't want to be friends with them. And also, you will feel really bad about yourself because you can't travel a lot. You're already in another country and you can't really travel. You got stuck here doing whatever that doesn't even make any sense, and that will really destroy you. So if you ever think about that you want to go to another country, it's about money, but it's not only about money. So you really have to think about it. So in the end, I know it's very long. In the end, what I want to say is I really, really like a quote from Tara Westover. I forgot exactly quote, but I always remember what she said. It was one of her interviews. I watched all her interviews. I love her. She's very well spoken. So she said something about money. That money is the best part about money is when you have it, you don't think about it. I 100% agree with that. So what she was trying to say that uh, when she had a difficult time too, and that's why I really like Educated. Similar, not as it's not like my story may not be that much, but similar. So she said when she has money, then she does not have to think about it, and then your brain will be freed up to do something else, to think about something else, and then your time will be freed up to be spent on something more important and more meaningful. I kept thinking about that. I still remember those days I spent hours and hours looking for coupons. I was waiting for discounts, things like that. But those such time was wasted. Uh, for what, right? I could have done something else. And when you have it, if you have the money, then you don't think about it. Whatever you want, you go for it. And not only that, and a lot of activities and a lot of interesting programs that you want to do. When you have the money, of course, you have the freedom to do it. But when you don't have it, you will have to come up with um, other solutions to achieve that. But other solutions take your time, and your time is quite precious. So that is my view about having money. And of course, that was my life about studying in another country, living in another country. Um, the the side effect of being poor is once you are relatively well off, then you become a shopaholic. So that is me. I always buy some useless things, and I used to be like I only buy these discounted things. Now I would see, oh, I like that dress and then two colors, which one should I pick? And then I will be like, oh yeah, well, I'll pick both, right? So but do I need two dresses? Probably not, but then I guess that's the side effect of being poor for too long. Anyway, so it is a long video. I hope you like it. I hope my story won't be too boring for you, but you're more than welcome to comment on this video and let me know if you like it. Next one, I'm thinking about doing something about open to my imperfection. I really has become more comfortable with myself now. So I really want to share that story with you. Anyway, so that's it. Yeah. And yeah, hopefully you're not like Bob. Already like sleep. Anyway, take care. See you next time.